Good morning, everybody. My name is Jose Romero. I am one of the program librarians here at West Orange Public Library. Today, we have another installment of Feng Shui with Millie Reed. So I would like to ask Millie to begin the presentation. Thank you so much for all attending.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jose. So my name is Millie Reed, and I'm a Feng Shui professional certified by the Feng Shui Institute of America for anyone who is new on this presentation. And we have already presented and discussed the first two parts of the Bagua, which were helpful people and self. And today I am presenting wisdom. And for anybody that is new, Bagua is a tool that is one of the most powerful tools in Feng Shui that is used to determine the areas of your home or whatever it is that you are analyzing. It's just not the home. It could be a desk, it could be a map, it could be many things. And it tells you the areas that correspond to your life on that particular space so that you can then determine what needs to be addressed, all right? So first of all, I mentioned in our first workshop that there is traditional Feng Shui and then there is Western Feng Shui. All right, traditional Feng Shui comes from China and it has extensive knowledge and it has about 4 different schools. And then there is Western Feng Shui, and I belong to the Pyramid Feng Shui school, which is the latest one that uses a lot of scientific principles to determine why something works in Feng Shui and what works for you. Okay, so it's very, very personalized. And like I said in the first workshop, everything can't be the same for everybody because people are individuals and it depends on how you react to your environment. And that's the most important part of Feng Shui, to determine how your environment affects you, how you affect it, how you react to it. All right, so that's traditional Feng Shui, and Pyramid Feng Shui is for me the easiest one to use, and it is at the same time very broad, and it has many aspects that the other schools don't have. So for instance, in traditional Feng Shui, this Gua represents knowledge and self-cultivation, all right? So knowledge is really information that you acquire from sources, all right? And self-cultivation is developing yourself, all right? In Pyramid Feng Shui, this Gua represents wisdom, which is much more than knowledge, all right? It is more than knowledge, it is more than self-cultivation. Wisdom is the improvement of mind, body, and spirit. Wisdom is much more difficult to achieve than knowledge and cultivation. Okay, yes. Have you ever heard the saying, book smart, life dumb? Okay. And my grandmother used to say, oh, she went into the university, but the university didn't go into her. So things like that, you can have many, and there are so many sayings in so many in every culture, there are so many sayings, for example, when I was younger, I used to have a girlfriend who was always having problems with men, and I told her once, Juanita, would you rather have one experience 1,000 times or 1,000 experiences. You know, says, what do you mean? It says, well, you keep on choosing the same man, you know, you haven't learned your lessons, right? So that's what it means. You know, would you rather have one experience 1,000 times, which means that you haven't learned your lessons, or would you rather have 1,000 experiences once? Because that means that you have learned your lessons and you have implemented them into your life. Okay, so let's talk about knowledge. What does it encompass? All right, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I am going to okay, here we go. All right. So like I said, this is the Bagua, the explanation of the Bagua, and you can superimpose it over your home, your apartment, your office, your desk, any area, any surface, any geographical area of a map to identify problems that need attention and adjustments. All right. So
Cool.
as you can see on the left, this is a traditional Bagua. All right. And notice what they label here. This is where we started helping people travel. This is helping people and travel, and this is life path. This is what we did last week, and this is what we're doing this week. This is skills and knowledge according to traditional Feng Shui. Okay, so this is the pyramid Feng Shui. So here you go. All right, knowledge, contemplation, meditation, intuition, that's all wisdom. Okay. And you, as you can see, if you remember correctly, this is where you align this map, so to speak. When you look at your home, this is how you should superimpose this over the map of your home. All right. And this is to help you have these symbols that immediately tell you what this section is all about. Okay, so here we are. This is what knowledge encompasses. It encompasses book smarts, all right? Anything that you read, anything that you study, anything that you read in magazines, you know, courses, books that you pick up at the library, anything. That is book smarts, okay? You can read it, you can retain it, but that is only acquiring knowledge, okay? So knowledge indicates your capability to learn and retain facts, details, and information, all right? So when you read, you can't unread what you've read, okay? Like you can't unsee what you've seen. Your brain absorbs it, all right? So what you do with what you absorb is important, right? So you retain facts, you learn new things, you retain facts, you retain details, you retain information. Now, once you have acquired this knowledge, it gives you confidence and inner strength because you are armed with data, okay? That means that you can use it. So that's why it gives you confidence, okay? Now, wisdom is quite different. Wisdom encompasses experiential smarts, all right? That means that it is what provides you with your personal, physical, mental, and spiritual growth. It's what you do with that knowledge that you've acquired, you know, because having knowledge and just having it in your head is of no use to you. It's how you use it that helps you, all right? Wisdom is what you do with the knowledge you have acquired, not only in books, but in everyday cognitive experiences. Okay, so what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that you can read, you can acquire knowledge, information, all right? But what do you do and how you deal with that knowledge is wisdom. For example, if you read, let's say, the elections lately. If you read something on the election process, all right? Well, you've learned what the election process is, but what have you done with it? All right. So have you gone out to vote? Have you encouraged others to vote? Have you shared that information with others? All right. So how you use that information is wisdom. And it's not just, wisdom is not just how you use information that you've learned through books, but it is also how you have used the knowledge that you have acquired from your elders, okay? The knowledge that you have acquired from your family, from your friends, from your colleagues. I see you laughing, Amy.
From elders.
And here is where wisdom is really, it shows itself to be the most important part of this Bagua. Why? Because you are learning things with a short learning curve. What do I mean by that? When you listen to your elders have been living longer than you have. They have these experiences and they are passing on what they have learned through those experiences to you. So what they're actually trying to do is help you to acquire this knowledge much faster than they did, all right, at an earlier age, so that you can implement it and use it wisely and not make mistakes, all right? Or at least not make the same mistakes they made, right? That is usually the struggle between parents and children, okay? Some things you just have to learn on your own, all right? You just have to experience it. That's what a lot of people do. You are wise if you learn those lessons and implement them, and you can move on to learn other things, okay? So that is the difference between knowledge and wisdom, okay? So here you see all the different areas that wisdom is and why it is so difficult for you to achieve it. It is much more than just achieving knowledge and self-cultivation. Wisdom is the accumulation of all you have learned and your experiences, okay? So as you go throughout life and you experience events and things, you acquire that knowledge, what you've learned from those experiences, and you can then incorporate that into your life. So here is a list of, wisdom it comes from books, from society, from your community, from your teachers, interaction with others, all types of interactions, even with strangers, okay? Mentors. So wisdom comes from family leaders, your generation, your friends, what you have seen, what you have experienced, what you have analyzed and thought, and what you feel, react to, and do. All right. So it is all of that, because when you react to something, you have learned, and that's an inner event that happens in your mind, body, and soul when you react to something. It is instant. So you learn that, oh my goodness, there's let's say there's a dog that looks like he's wild and coming my way, and you instantly react, okay? So this is your emotional, your intellect, your body telling you, how you actually feel about what you have seen, okay? And believe me, your body and your mind reacts quicker than you can think, okay? So it is the coming together of your emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical realms. Okay, that is wisdom. Okay, and why is it so important? Okay, it is important because what you do with the knowledge you have acquired, not only in books, but in everyday cognitive experience, affects you every single moment of your life. It also becomes your moral compass, okay? It helps you to develop reasoning. It expands your mental development, all right? So what do I mean by developing reasoning? You can look at something and you can determine, what it actually represents to you, and how you would make a decision. Okay, so that's reasoning. When you make a decision, you have to think about different aspects and try to reconcile those aspects, whether they're positive or negative or they contradict each other. You have to reason and come to a conclusion. All right, so it helps you develop that wisdom, expands your mental development. Absolutely. Why? Because once you have learned something, all right, you can then incorporate it into your life. It helps you to use your intellect to conceptualize and analyze. What do I mean by that? Well, when you look at something, well, let's take a normal everyday occurrence. If you go to IKEA, very simply, if you go to IKEA and you buy a piece of furniture that has to be put together, okay? And IKEA, it comes with pictures. It does not come with written instructions, all right? So that's a conceptualization, all right? They're presenting you with the concept, and you have to look at it and figure out how it can come together. That's analyzing, all right? So conceptualization is in your mind having a picture of what you are thinking, all right? To materialize it in your mind. Analyzing is figuring out how that would work, okay? So knowledge also helps you to develop your perception of the tangible and intangible. And what do I mean by that? What is visible, the tangible things are what are visible, things that are evident, things that are demonstrable, things that are quantifiable, all right? And also the opposite of that, things that you can't see, things that are not immediately evident, things that can't be demonstrated, and things that you can't quantify, all right? And that's more in the spiritual realm, okay? Wisdom also helps you to keep an open mind, all right? To receive more understanding and wisdom. And that's very important because people say, well, I went to school and I got my education, period. But people don't understand that learning is a lifelong process. You don't stop learning just because you got a degree or you finish school. You will be learning until the day you die. All right. So every day you learn something. Believe it or not, that's life. Life is a process of learning experiences, right? Wisdom also helps you to acquire an insightful understanding of what is right, appropriate, and true. Okay? So, true are things that never change, that are always the same, no matter what. All right? What is right has a lot to do with your culture, your personal beliefs, your religious beliefs, your faith, um, and morals and values. Okay. So not everybody has the same values or morals, but at least you think that humanity has some common morals and values that everyone possesses. All right. So wisdom helps you to understand that. And appropriate is cultural. All right. What is appropriate for you in your culture, in your ethnicity, in the workplace? So you come across a lot of different aspects in your life that appropriateness is not the same throughout. It's quite different in each of those situations, but you learn what is appropriate so that you can navigate this life experience, right? So wisdom also helps you to recognize opportunities. Remember what I said about analyzing? It helps you to analyze. Well, you can learn that there is an opportunity by analyzing what you see, what you hear, you know, and trying to determine where this is going. So those are opportunities. Wisdom helps you to acknowledge abundance. All right. What do I mean by that? Um, there are people that no matter how much they have, they're always looking to, do one up on the neighbor or on someone that they believe is doing better than them or that has more than what they have. You know, um, having everything doesn't mean that you are happy. You have to learn when you have things that don't make you happy and things that make you happy. It's like, for example, Marie Kondo. A lot of people hear about Marie Kondo. She uses feng shui. She doesn't call it that, but she uses feng shui to declutter and to organize. And she says, oh, what makes you happy? All right. So also, you have heard the saying, less is more. Okay. Um, and you've also have heard the saying, more is more, because it's a saying that is spread around in the design world and the fashion world. There's an icon, a fashion icon named Iris Apfel. I don't know if any of you are familiar, but Iris Apfel is in her 90s. And she, whenever you look at
Oh yeah,
whenever you see of her, she's got all these necklaces and rings and bracelets, and she's known for her big black glasses, and she is dressed to the nines, and her philosophy of life is more, less is a bore. Okay. That's how she feels, and that's how she lives her life, and that's how she's happy. All right. Yet there are some people that are very happy with very little. Okay. So wisdom helps you to determine that. What makes you happy with what you already have. All right. Acknowledge it, bless it, and thank it. All right. Wisdom helps you to develop a strong sense of self. All right. When you know who you are in terms of your spirituality, in terms of your knowledge, all right, in terms of who you are as a woman, as a man, as a mother, as a father, as a brother, as a sister, etc. All these aspects of your life, when you know your status, when you know that you have worth, that's a strong sense of self. And you don't have to look at other people to give you that sense of self. You give it to yourself. That is a gift that you give to yourself by acquiring wisdom, right? So wisdom also helps you to develop a good relationship with yourself, which leads to good relationships with others. Think about it. If you don't feel good about yourself, how can you be around people and people uh, enjoy and enjoy being with you? All right. If you don't enjoy being with yourself, how can other people enjoy being with you? So when you improve yourself, you improve your relationships with others. All right. And it's no it's not an accident that this gua is at the lower left hand side of the bagua. To the right of it is self, and up one from it is family and community. So it's right between family and community and self. And what does that mean? That you're improving yourself to be a better person so that you can also be of value to your family and your community. And when you look at the opposite upper right hand corner of the Bagua, what is their relationships? All right. So by improving your wisdom, you are improving yourself, you are improving your family, you are improving your community, and you are improving your relationships with other people. All right. So in the Jewish community, education is a responsibility. All right. They view it as a personal responsibility, so that you can improve and move forward your community. All right. And that's how you have to see it. It's not only just improving yourself, but by improving yourself, you help everybody else. All right. You feel good about yourself, you're going to feel good about your relationships. All right. Wisdom also helps us to learn the lessons from our life's experiences. Okay. Like I said before, would you rather have one experience 1,000 times or 1,000 experiences once? Right. So if you do not analyze, self-reflect, and think about what you have experienced, you will not acquire wisdom. All of life's experiences come your way and are meant to come your way. All right. And you have to figure out why. There is nothing like chance. All right. It is all meant to be. You have to figure out why it has come your way at the specific moment that it comes your way. All right. I know it's difficult to understand that concept. Knowing that you cannot control anybody else's behavior, you can only control yours. All right. So when someone does something that really affects you and bothers you, you can only control how you react to it. Okay. And that's part of your learning experience. So wisdom also helps you to incorporate the lessons you've learned so you do not continually make the same mistakes knowingly. Okay? If you make the same mistakes knowingly, then you are resisting learning your life's lessons. You are not going to be moving forward. Okay? Many people do that. Why? Because they feel comfortable. No matter how hard it becomes, they still want to do it because they feel comfortable, even if it's hard. And they're afraid of risks. And life is all a series of taking risks, trusting and taking risks so that you can move on. Okay. So, all right. So there are other aspects of each of the guas. And here I did a presentation for you so that you can see. Each of the guas have a lot of different aspects. And one of the aspects is direction. The gua for wisdom is the direction for the gua of wisdom is north. The color that should be used in this area is blue. The scent that should be used in this area is rosemary. All right. So why do I say that? Let me get my notes here. So okay. The scent is rosemary because it aids you in good memory. It aids you in acquiring balance in life, and it helps you to develop your perceptive skills. All right. So smelling that scent aids you in doing all of that. The element of this gua is earth. All right. What does that mean? Anything pertaining to the earth, soil, plants, etc. And the number is 8. All right. And numerology is part of Feng Shui. So one of the important aspects of the number 8 is that it signifies getting rich slowly. What does that mean? It's not just about money. It's about life's experiences that enriches you. So you acquire knowledge, and you can't acquire all the knowledge that there is to acquire at one point, immediately. So you acquire it throughout your life. You acquire it slowly. It enriches you. You become rich. And that's how you become a sage, You become an elder with all this experience and willing to share. And the number 8 is a number that many business owners in the Eastern world want as part of their address, especially when they're beginning a business, because it means getting rich slowly. You have no other way to go but up and increasing your worth. So numerology is very important. All right. And what can I place in the knowledge wisdom gua? Here are all representations of what you can place. Remember I told you that the element is earth? Well, how about a rock garden? All right. As you can see here, you can put it on a table, desk. All right. Artwork. Artwork has to speak to you, and it cannot be negative. Everything that you choose has to be positive. All right. So if it has a negative connotation, that will immediately be picked up. Even if you don't pick it up, somebody else will. So you have to figure out what is the best piece of art to put in this area. And if people come into that area and all of a sudden have a negative reaction to it, then it's not the right thing there. Because everyone should go, oh, wow, when they see it. Okay? This is another aspect of knowledge and wisdom, solitary moments, right? Where you can sit in a place that absolutely relaxes you. Some people love to read by the water. I love to go to the beach and sit and read, all right? And this is something like a picture of that you can put in that place. Or here, if you're a teacher, you have a picture of children reading, all right? That inspires you. And over here, you have, I have a picture here of this man on top of a mountain with the arms outstretched. That is you looking at the universe and thanking the universe and enjoying what the universe has to offer you. All right. That's part of wisdom. Here, a representation of someone really relaxing. Look at that. You can take a nap. So these are all activities that you should be able to do in this space.
Yes, we
Take
can.
a nap, read. It's you, yourself, with your mind, your spirit, your soul. This is what should be in that area, okay? What activities? I just was talking about activities. Writing. Writing is another one of those activities that you should do in this area, all right? Taking a nap. Praying. All right, so these are inspirational symbols that you can put up there. And meditating, all right? Don't judge a book by its cover. That's one of the most important advices that anyone can get. You know, these days, it's so easy to just look at people and immediately come to conclusions based on just what you see. But it's like a book, you know, you don't know what's in the book until you open it up and you read it and understand it. So it's the same with people. You know, don't judge by what you see immediately. Get to know the person, to understand the person, okay? So tips for activating this wisdom gua, okay? Look at your space with fresh eyes. And that's very difficult to do because you live in the space and you are used to it. You don't see what other people see, all right? So my first advice to you would be try to come into this space and try to look as if you were a stranger seeing the space for the first time. Look at everything, the corners, every little aspect with fresh eyes, right? Be creative. When you want to choose something to put in this space, be creative, right? Make it unique to you. Anything that speaks to you, that is acceptable to put in this space, the things that I've already mentioned that are acceptable to put in this space, and they speak to you, they are unique to you, so you can use them. Share what you are doing with someone you trust. Now, this is important because when you share, you spread your knowledge, and as you share this with someone that you trust, they can also determine how they see a change in you. So you may not notice a change in you as you are going through this process, but others will see the change. And this person that you share this with, you can discuss that with this person. Think analytically about your choices. I said that before. You know, when you choose something to put in this space, think, why are you putting it in this space? All right. And is it appropriate to put in this space based on the intentions, the wishes that you have, the goals that you have? Keep it simple. That's the most important thing. At first, you want to learn how to address your environment. So keep it simple. Make sure that your symbols represent only your wishes and intentions. Okay? Not somebody else's. All right? Your wishes and intentions. Use incense and music that will aid in your relaxation. All right? I've already mentioned rosemary, the scent of rosemary. All right? Music, soft, classical music, new age music, instrumental music, things that relax you, not things that, you know, get you going and motivated and up and running and active, but things that are subdued and relax you. Use what you have. Look around your home and look at all the things that you have, accessories, throws, etc., pillows that you can use in this space. Refresh your symbols from time to time. It's good to do that seasonally, okay? I do it all the time in my home. I have relatives who have had their furniture in the same place since the 1950s, and they don't move anything. Okay? And so, I can't, I just can't do that. I can't live that way. So there's always something going on, and moving stuff, until it feels just right. So think about that, okay? Another tip is commit to meditative journaling activities in this gua for a period of 21 days. What do I mean by that? If you really want to determine how you can affect change in you, then you would try this activity. Do a meditative, sit in this area, do a meditative exercise. And then after you do the meditative exercise, keep a journal, write what you're thinking, what you feel right after that meditative exercise. Do that for 21 days. At the end of 21 days, go back and read what you have written and think about how you have changed, how that has affected you. All right? Pay attention to any change in your life at the end of those 21 days. How you feel at that moment at the end of those 21 days, as opposed to how you felt when you first started. All right? Especially pay attention to how you are responding to stressors. What do I mean by that? Things that stress you out. How are you responding to that? Okay? That's very important, because if you don't take care of yourself, stress can kill you. All right? And last but not least, enjoy the experience. All right? And here's the bibliography. Feng Shui with What You Have, Maximum Harmony, Minimum Effort. And this book is written by two of my colleagues. And they do a very nice presentation, short presentations, which are doable. You understand it. It's written in plain language. You understand it. You can get a feeling of how this really works. And they have other information that is interesting. Okay, so are there any questions?
No.
Yes, I have one question.
Okay, Jose.
With my auntie, in the midst of trying to move furniture pieces in my living room, I actually found a book on Feng Shui. So I've had a little bit of experience with it, but I particularly like this wisdom part because in terms of letting things go and developing good relationship and keeping an open mind, I think I'm a little bit better with that, where before I was very judgmental about many things. But I think that but my thing is that in the back of my mind, I still have those bad traits that come out, and it's hard for me. But at least now I realize and I feel that okay, this is wrong. But before I just felt it was just me. Well that's the way I am, and it only took, it took a couple of it took a couple of bad relationships on my end for me to realize, that, hey, buddy, you got to do a better job here.
Jose, you know how life works. Life, you keep on coming across the same experience, and you keep, it's like banging your head on the wall. You keep on coming across the same experience until you learn the lesson and move on. Once you've learned the lesson, you don't have that bad experience again.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, first of all, Millie, thank you. You've packed so much information into this talk. I have so many notes that I'll have to go over after. Thank you. But one thing that was so interesting for Liz and for me is that when you talked about the wisdom gua, Liz's favorite number is 8. And one of her favorite colors absolutely is blue. And she loves rosemary. So that was so incredible to us. Those things all there for her.
See, that's why I have a good memory, Billy.
Memory, that's true. She has an amazing memory and an ability to use that memory as to help her experiences. It was really just, we were like poking each other. Wow, look at this. This is you, Liz, Miss Wisdom here. So that was terrific. And I also just think you use really good examples like the IKEA directions as a concept versus the words that really, resonates because
Thank you.
we've all, yeah. Construction and throw the paper across the room because you can't do it. So anyway,
Absolutely.
I thought that was a very good example. So you hit so many buttons for us, and
Very good.
and I think also just both the other lecture we went to and this one, the thought of really looking at your space, whether again it's just your dining room table or your whole house, with fresh eyes and really thinking about what's in it and all that is just very helpful for us. And I like it being sort of repeated to us because it hasn't totally sunk in.
Yeah.
We haven't
Always
acted
remember
down.
that Feng Shui, the results of, well, let me put it this way. The path to acquiring peace and harmony in your environment is through intentional design. And that's what you're learning here, intentional design. And when you think of all these aspects before you place something and where you place it, then you are in line with the universe and its laws. And that's when you find peace and harmony.
Good. That's what we all need.
Yeah, especially these days. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
And one of the things is that when everything is chaotic around you, you have to find some joy in your life, some peace. You have to sort of withdraw from all of that and find some joy and peace in order to regenerate, in order to motivate yourself, in order to feel better. So no matter what is happening outside in the world, this is your little space that you go to when things are so chaotic every place else. This is the area of your home that you go to. This is the gua that you pay attention to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anything that you want to explain, to be explained even further?
No, good.
Will you make a video of this one also?
This is going to be recorded. Yes, I'm sorry, this is being recorded, and it will be available on the West Orange Public Library YouTube channel. Okay.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because we missed last week, so I wanted to look at
Last week's is already there, has been posted. All right, so
Oh.
you can go and look at that workshop.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So if anything, if you want to review anything, you could always do that. You could go to the West Orange Public Library YouTube channel and look for my workshops, and you could watch them at your leisure. You can pause them, stop them, take notes, whatever. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Jose?
Well, the thing is with me, I think with all these workshops and programs, I think you're beginning to really understand who I really am.
You mean you are beginning to understand who you really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. I'm divulging my life in front of our audiences, and well, I am blessed, and I do believe in, and I would say in the last, I say last 20 years, I think I've tried to really improve some of the things that I thought were just normal, but they weren't. And that comes from family and parents and just seeing how they operated. So I just thought that that would be normal, but I like the part that I mean, sometimes on Sunday morning, I'd rather be outside in the porch and just writing, because that's when thoughts come in, and
Right.
analyzing some of the things I've done during the week. So I will take into consideration that 21 period day and doing some self-reflecting, because I want to be able to to lead a better life, and understand people today, because I mean, because of all the, people today are just bitter and angry on both sides. But, that there has to be people that come out and state that, we can work together.
Absolutely.
And I have a friend, a close friend of mine, who he's my handyman, and he's a Trump supporter. And I listen to him. But I state to him and goes, well, we both. I need you because you're fixing my home, and and also when it comes to politics, we discuss, we talk, but we leave it alone. We don't. I understand his point of view, and he understands mine. But again, I still think we need to work together, and thank God he fixed my gutters this weekend, so I'm not complaining. Yeah. Oh yes. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yes.
Is he?
So,
Is he a
so
good
part-
guy?
He is. He
so
really is.
one of the things that you need to think about is when you meditate, the place that you choose to meditate in. Okay. When you have the wisdom gua done, prepared for you to relax in, it has to feel totally, totally comfortable, right? You can start there, but your home is not the only place where you can meditate. You can meditate in your backyard. If you have trees and birds and squirrels and chipmunks, you can go into a forest. Where I live, we have 5,500 acres of wildlife, just a forest that is absolutely beautiful. We can go there. We also have a Buddhist temple that has gorgeous, gorgeous Zen-like grounds. All right, we often go there. You choose where you want to meditate, what makes you feel good. You can meditate by a lake, you can meditate by the ocean, you know. So it depends on what you like and what makes you feel comfortable. So you don't always have to stay home to meditate. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the thing is that Oprah used to say, when we learn, we can do better. That means, you didn't know about things that you should have known because you really don't know what you don't know. But when you educate yourself and you find that things are different from what you thought they should be, then you could do better. Okay? So that's life. And remember, every experience comes your way intentionally, and you have to figure out what it means in your life.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And people come into your life too. That doesn't mean that they always have to stay in your life, but they come into your life because you need to learn something from them, and or they need to learn something from you. And that could have an expiration date too. You know, you don't always have to, yes, your friends don't always have to be there all the time. All right. You go through stages in life, and sometimes you outgrow your friends, so you have to move on. And that's when it becomes difficult moving on. But you have to understand when you should move on and why. Okay.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
So much, very informative.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
really enjoyed
You're
it.
welcome. Okay, everybody.
Millie,
Look forward to next time.
We look forward to next time. Is it next week? I hope it's next
Yes, next week.
week.
Next
Oh.
week we're going to do the family and community. Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
So next week, that's what I'm going to be presenting. And it's going to be very interesting too. All right. So that you can
yes,
understand
absolutely,
your-
yes.
Yes, so that you can understand your place in the community and in your family, okay? And how it relates to every other aspect of your life, okay? Any more
All right.
questions?
No, just thank you so much.
thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank you.
for participating, all right? Everybody have a good weekend, and hope to
Thank
see you
you.
next Tuesday, okay?
Good, yes.
All right.
Okay, have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Now what do we do?
Click leave.
Okay.